By the way, you might be asking yourself, but Steve, didn't you just get this bike a week ago? And isn't it a perfectly good motorcycle as it is? 100%. But if you've ever known me or been around me, you know that I'm an idiot and I have to do things like this all the time to any bike I own. So I'm sorry if you have the same affliction, but this addiction is stronger than I can deal with. So anyways, back to the install. All right, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Steve Sleepy, and I gotta be honest, I was just about to do one of those like, hey, I didn't see you guys there. But I work alone, so who would have turned on the camera? Me. And that doesn't work. Anyways, I'm just doing a quick video today. So BMW back there did another 500 some miles or 350, 400, I don't even know. This bike's awesome, been riding it like crazy. So because of that, there's a few things I've been addressing. Like I've adjusted the bars, I've adjusted the clutch, I did all these things, slowly making it my own. And it's really coming together. I'm really enjoying it. But it's so quiet that a couple times I've almost launched myself like from first gear just because I can't even hear the bike coming up to like 1 or 2, 3 grand. So as a birthday present to myself, I ended up getting an AKRAPOVIČ system, or AKRAPOVIČ, or I don't even know how do you say it. In fact, if you can somebody tell me below in the comments how to say AKRAPOVIČ, AKRAPOVIČ, I don't know. But anyways, I've had these on many bikes over the years. A lot of my 900RRs, I had the carbon fiber cans. It added a nice warm tone. It wasn't loud and stupid. And but now a slip-on comes with this thing. So basically it's like a mini cat, but it's removing about 30 pounds of cat underneath this bike. So weight savings alone, we're talking about a 15-pound decrease, and then a little bit more sound. So it looks to be pretty simple. Again, it's a slip-on basically. So all the O2 sensors and stuff remain on the header. We're not taking any of that off, so we're not going to have to mess with fuel mapping or anything to that extent. And that it says that in the book. I'm not just making that up. And it looks like a pretty simple install. It looks like about a clamp and a few bolts to get the old one off, change a bracket or two, and slap the new one on. So I'm not doing a step-by-step instruction. We do that for work at Summit, and I don't feel like doing that on my weekends. So I'm just gonna slap it on and do a little time lapse and film it, and then we'll see how it is at the end of it. So welcome back to the channel. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. And do me a favor, man, if you do enjoy this, subscribe. We've had a little bit of a subscription run going on, and it makes me a little excited. So if you're watching the video, do me a solid, man. It's free, just hit the subscribe button. So anyways, let's get started. I already pre-mounted this thing. Basically got to take the old system off and we'll get going. All right, so we got the bike on the lift and we're on the other side where the exhaust is. Now, as I'm new to BMWs, I'm slowly catching on to, you know, the language of a BMW, if you will. And if you do get a BMW, at least a modern one, from what I'm seeing, definitely get yourself a good set of Torx bits. Everything seems to be Torx, which I am a huge fan of. So, and from riding this bike, not only do the BMW engineers know what they're doing designing a bike, but they're smart in using Torx bits. I don't think I've ever stripped a Torx bit. Knock on metal. Oh man, did I just jinx myself. Anyways, I'm just gonna take some bolts out. It looks like it's just this clamp, which, okay, I'll need a wrench. And these guys here, and then it slides off from these two rubber things, and a mount that we're actually gonna change came with the AKRAPOVIČ. I'm gonna dig in. Probably just time lapse most of this because you guys don't want to see me unscrew bolts. That's just ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna get at it. All right, well, if you could have seen that on the time lapse, there's a little bit of a work. It literally is the clamp and 2 bolts, but it's a pretty tight fit. I had to shoot a little bit of lubrication on the rubber guys, the grommets that kind of hold this whole assembly, and then just kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it to slide off the header. But it's out. Had to drop this a little bit, but wow. That's about 15, 20 pounds. Yeah, I'd say almost 15, 20 pounds. And we're replacing it with, I think, 7. So that's pretty cool, plus good sound. So we'll put this away nice. In case we ever sell the bike, we can put it back to stock. All right, moving on. We'll start the assembly and break the old pipe. But the assembly should be pretty straightforward. Looks like that cat, we got to replace a bracket inside here where the old bracket that holds that on goes. And then it's a matter of sliding that on. That cat slides into there, so we'll put the cat on first. Then there's a bracket that bolts onto here, and then your pipe. So should be pretty straightforward. I'll update you if needed. If not, time lapse is working, so I can't wait. This is gonna be good. All right, moving on. All right, so what you can see here is inside the bike, and you can see this plate right here. There's 3 bolts that hold it on. That held the old muffler, so this is the new one from AKRAPOVIČ, so we just have to put this in there in place. So that's what we're doing inside here. And so look, that's inside there. Really important is to make sure you get your foot-pounds right. So use a torque wrench or arm. I have a built-in torque arm. It says 7 foot-pounds of torque. So we're gonna go ahead and get this bolt lined up here. I got it tight, but I wanna give it a good squeeze. Shout out to anybody that can actually see and doesn't wear glasses. But anyways, all right. Oh, 7 in that. There it is, 7. Okay, and then let's give this one. We'll give this a good 7 foot-pounds here. Okay, that's about 7. Always use your torque wrench or torque arm if you have it. All right, well, I think we're about ready to put this, I guess it would be a catalytic converter. I did wipe it off with alcohol. It's one of the things you want to do with any kind of stainless or anything like that. So that way, and after I install it, I'll probably wipe all the fingerprints off. That way the initial few times it heats up, you don't get some weird fingerprints burned in or anything to that extent. So, and I think we got to put the clamp on here, and then that slides on and that slides on there. So we'll go ahead and get that going, and this will be closer to being installed. All right. You may notice I'm sweating like a pig. Once you get this lip on, to get this mount on the rubber pieces, it's not impossible. Don't be scared of it, but you're gonna have to use your muscles a little bit. There's a combination of getting the lip to slide over this thing right, twisting it to the point that it gets over a hump, bringing it back, and then pushing it up over that mount. It'd be pretty much impossible to show you guys how I did it, but I did it, and it's on there. Heck yeah. And the pipe goes on here and clamps to this. We're almost there, halfway done. So we'll get this tightened up, make sure that's done so we don't forget it, which is this little guy here. We'll bring him down, and there it is. Yeah, we'll get him tightened up, put the can on, and I think we're done. We'll be able to start it up and see what it sounds like. And then I can go take a shower. It's been raining all day, and it's still 78 degrees, so Ohio is just a swamp of disgustingness. But whatever, job's got to get done, so all right, I'm pretty pumped. Here we go, finishing it up. Okay, all we got left is to pull the springs on right here to here. Now, I used to have a spring pulling tool. I've had one for years. Don't you love it when you know you got a tool, but now you got to find it? Stand by.
6 hours later.
Oh yeah, this ain't my first rodeo. All right, spring pulling tool. Gotcha. And here we go. Oh, not that big of a deal. No, I can't get the spring. There we go. One spring on. Hey, we got an exhaust, man. Let me just double check. These guys, I think we're cool, but always good to double check. All right. I'm gonna call that pipe on. Job well done. I'll go ahead and get some alcohol, rub this down, make sure there's no fingerprints on it, and we can start it up. All right, man, new pipes on the bike. I think it looks sick. We dropped about 15 pounds of weight, and more importantly, I think we're gonna get a little bit of tone to this thing. It was so quiet. It was ridiculous. So you guys ready? I'm pretty excited. Here we go. Turn this guy on. All right. We got fuel pump. Here we go. All right, I have no idea what that sounds like on camera. I won't know until I'm editing this. But in person, that sounds awesome. It's a nice, deep, woofy, throaty, blah, 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 which is exactly what I was looking for. It's got a little bit of a bite, but honestly, I think I'll be able to hear it now in first gear when I'm leaving a light or something like that. We'll see how the highway goes. If it is too terribly loud, they do sell a dB killer. We can always slap that in. We'll have a lighter exhaust, better looks, and probably a little bit of sound, but right now I'm digging this. So, all right, there she is, man. Took about an hour. The biggest problem with this whole, not even a problem, the biggest pain in the ass on this was getting that catalytic converter to slide onto the two pegs that hold it in place, and they're rubber mounted. Besides that, pretty simple install. I think it took me an hour and a half. Took me longer to set the cameras up to do this. So, all right. First step to make it my own. I got some other things planned, so make sure you stop in. Again, I got some other videos coming up that are pretty awesome. So if you get a chance, subscribe so you don't miss any of these things. A lot of them have nothing to do with me. I am talking to and interviewing much cooler people, so you don't want to miss that. All right, guys, remember, if it works, it's not dumb. Thanks a lot.